to History Bedtime Stories in our pajamas in bed. And tonight is night number 18 of our continuing series on presidential pets. Night 18, President 18, we're talking about Ulysses S Grant, who actually has a pretty cool tie to the city of Detroit. He lived here for a short time when he was an officer in the Army, and along with his wife, made a home at the barracks in officers' housing. That house has been preserved and has now been moved to Eastern Market here in downtown Detroit and will once again be on display for people to visit the former, at least military home of President Ulysses S. Grant. But we're talking about the president this evening and his pets. He was president from 1869 until 1877, and he was a Republican. He had a lot of pets, but among them there was a parrot. There were two horses, actually mares, named Ginny and Mary that belonged to Nellie Grant. There were Shetland ponies named Billy Button and Reb. There was a pair of carriage horses named Egypt and St. Louis. There was Cincinnatius, who was a saddle horse. There was Jeff Davis, who was his wartime mount, the horse he would ride into cavalry battle with. There was a parrot. There were gamecocks owned by his son, Jesse Grant. But it's pretty obvious that President Grant loved dogs and horses, and it was a toss-up for which he liked more. He had a little mutt named Rosie, this black and tan dog, no real breed, just a mutt, that he absolutely adored. And he would actually take his dinner out to the White House stables to eat with Rosie and the horses, and he would talk to them as he ate. His son Jesse had a beautiful, giant Newfoundland. Newfies are these huge 150 to 200 pound dogs. And Jesse's Newfoundland was named Faithful. Now, Jesse, as a child, had suffered the death of two of his pet dogs. One was accidentally run over by a carriage, and the other died of illness quite young. So the president was very protective of Faithful, and he actually, upon moving into the White House, told all of the staff, if this dog dies, every employee in the White House will at once be discharged. So he was pretty protective of not only his son's heart, but of this dog, Faithful, that was so loyal to his son. But what Ulysses S. Grant really loved were his horses, and of them, Butcher's Boy has got to have the coolest story. So Grant is riding one evening from the executive mansion to a dinner, and he goes by this horse and buggy horse that is just way outpacing him. It is this white, somewhat small horse, and it is just going at this fantastic clip. It is racing along, and the president thinks, by God, what a horse. In fact, he won't stop talking about this horse to all of his friends. He is so shocked that a horse pulling a carriage could outpace him when he was simply riding his horse in a way that should be much quicker than pulling this big cart. Well, the friends of the president start thinking about this, and they realize it can only be one horse, a horse belonging to a local butcher. They contact the butcher, and he says that he's paid $75 for the horse, and if they were able to raise that sum, he would happily sell him and then be able to buy a replacement. He was sorry he couldn't gift the horse to the president, but he didn't have the money to buy a new horse if he had done that, and it would have ruined his business. President's friends say, no, that's cool. They pay $75 for the horse and tip the man an extra $10. That horse is then given to the president, who names it Butcher's Boy. And he goes at a tremendous speed all over Washington. He loves going fast, and he is even pulled over by a police officer who writes him a speeding ticket. When the police officer realized he was writing a speeding ticket to the president, he's like, oh, no, I'm sorry, let's just, tear this up. And the president commends the man. He says, no, you're doing your job. You're executing your office in good faith. The fine was $5. The president paid it, and he sent a commendation to the police officer for diligent service, for writing the ticket, even when it was to the president. I hope you're enjoying History Bedtime Stories Presidential Pet Edition. If you are, give us a like and a share, maybe tag a friend in the comments section, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Wash your hands. Be kind to each other.